Welcome back, Life in a Wine Bottle fans. I'm your host, Nelson Pizarro. In part two, with our special guest, Lindsay from Wine Smarties, we get to hear what makes her courses so unique and what her goals are for Wine Smarties. Don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel and iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or like us and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Life in a Wine Bottle. Enjoy the episode. What would you say sets you apart from competitors or just anybody else in the industry that you're doing?
I think that's a really good question. I think quite frankly, a lot of people just go, I want a wine class. I'm going to go here and don't really think too hard about who may be teaching it. But I think if I were to think hard and kind of get in the voice of my students, I think what I've heard from my students is I'm pretty down to earth and I don't make people feel dumb and I'm relatable and they have a good time in class. So having fun while you're learning and also challenging, it's an interesting mixture. I've watched a lot of online videos and there's some really how do I say this?
Blah. Yes. Yes, I know. This is the whole podcast that I didn't want something to be so.
Dry. Dry is the nice word.
Yes, super dry wine that has no structure.
Dry. I don't think that's me.
Yep. Oh, and I was just gonna tell you that you are very bubbly, great sense of humor. You always have a smile. You're laughing, and it's easier to connect with you. And that's a huge part of the whole. It's just a connection because if you like wine, if you can teach it, and if you have fun, it's going to be easier for your students to remember what you taught. But if you didn't have a good connection and, like you said, very dry, you will remember a little bit about it. Oh, I remember this wine is dry, probably because that teacher was just a dry person. I don't even want to be here. You know what I mean? But you really have to be outgoing because you're just not offering one course and you're just like, hey, here you go, get out of here, next. You're like, here you go, here's my next course if you would like to take it. Maybe not this year, but in 2 years from now. And just kind of grow your palate from there. And maybe you still stay in that wine world, the industry, or maybe you just kind of veer off and, that's where you're at. You remember these things. So that's a great answer. And I know it's a little challenging because a lot of people would like to say the negatives about competitors. You know what I mean? Like really put them underneath the bus. But you really, stood your ground about your personality and what you see from your students. So a great answer. Yeah. And I wasn't trying to put you on the negative side of either. I wasn't going to trick you.
I have a lot of respect. There's some great teachers. Like when I took the course, I took it through Peter Neptune, who's my associate. And he is hilarious. And I loved his class. He is great. He delivered the information with energy, excitement, engagement. I was never bored. I was always like on the seat of my pants. What's he going to say next? So, I have nothing bad to say over other providers. I think we're all different. I think what's smart about the WSET is they've kind of created regions. So you don't have to make a client go to, hey, who do I choose, except for the larger areas like LA. So I think that's been helpful too, but I have nothing bad to say about anything good to say. Heck, up in Napa Valley, the Napa Valley Wine School, there's some fellow MWs who I went through together, like that are teaching part-time or sometimes. And these are awesome people to learn from. And I think as a wine student, great advice is, and I always tell my students this, is get your own opinion. How do you get your own opinion? Well, you do your own research. You go and you hear other people. Like when I was traveling around the world trying to understand winemaking and understand viticulture, and why are you doing this in the same region and they're doing that? Each winemaker or viticulturalist has their own opinion and perspective. And it's the same for wine teachers. It's the same for every wine professional. And that's interesting. And from that research, and experience as a student, you gain your own opinion. So I think learning from different people, and I'm one perspective, is
helps
great.
you get better. Yeah, it helps you get better at the end of the day. It doesn't complete you. It just gives you another piece to connect with somebody else.
Yeah.
You know? So yes, that's great. What about your ultimate goals? Do you have anything for you and for the Wine Smarties? Is there anything specific that, I know you said you're working on changing some a new course, which is great. Bringing in people, expanding.
Yeah. I think the online, because I've been pretty localized offering in-person classes in San Diego and Temecula. I think for a growth standpoint, that's been harder to grow because it's limited to a geographical territory. Right. So by shifting things online, my goal, and not all of it, obviously I still plan to teach live classes. I love teaching live classes. Right. It's like, I keep thinking like live performer or shifting to movies in my mind. I'm like, this is different when I'm filming my own videos. It's a different feel than when you're actually engaging live with your students in real time and feeling the energy and the flow of the classroom. So it's been an interesting journey for me, but I think for expansion purposes, getting online to get more reach is a natural thing. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Nice.
Yeah, keep here. I don't plan on ever moving from San Diego. So I don't have no aspiration to go live anywhere else.
Yeah, there's your hub. And from here you go wherever you want to go. Yes, that makes sense. What about, give us a couple of good ways of promoting your Wine Smarties. Is there, give us the Instagram.
Instagram is at Wine Smarties, simple.
Okay.
And Facebook, I have the Wine Smarties page.
Okay.
And Instagram, it's just me, Lindsay Pomeroy. I mean, not Instagram, excuse me, LinkedIn.
Oh, LinkedIn, okay.
Sorry, I'm like, what? Huh?
Yeah.
And let's see, my website, winesmarties.com.
Okay, perfect.
I think that's where I'm at.
And your quick email address.
Oh yeah, Lindsay, info's easier to remember, info at winesmarties.com.
Perfect. And the last question, collection. Do you have any wine collection or do you just drink them all?
Oh, my wine collection. I have somewhat of a collection, but to be frank, I drank a lot of that.
So you're not a collector.
Really stay here.
Yeah,
okay?
You're not a collector. Okay.
Not really, but I love collecting. I love the idea of it. But that's a good point. No, I'm not really a collector.
Yeah, you don't just say, "Oh, I love this label, and I'm just gonna buy it for this label, not for the wine." Or some people do that.
No, never.
All right, nice. All right.
When I got the 4 cases of Bollinger, they sent me their 2010. I got 1 bottle of the 2010 VA Vine, the oldest pre-phylloxera vineyard in Champagne, and one of the only in Europe that survived phylloxera. Yeah. So it's like an $800 bottle. I don't know, or more. I'm not sure.
Did you drink it?
Of course.
Oh my God.
Yes. So you know how I drank it is I taught a class and I shared it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, whoever's listening, I mean, imagine you paid X amount of dollars and now you're drinking a wine that you're not going to find really.
No.
You won't find this. Even from the owners. They might have it, but they won't share that, Wow, that's pretty special.
So yeah, you're right. I'm not really a collector.
Yeah, you're definitely not a collector. But that's good for all the winemakers. Because we need the consumers. We need it consumed,
Yeah.
Just get it in one hand and drink it in the other hand.
It'd be great also to have some of your wines in my class. I do these online classes and I always like using wines for certain examples. So I think offline we can discuss some wines possibly that I could be using.
Yeah, that'll be great. Like I said, I'm 2 things that I always want to do with this podcast. Number 1 is promote San Diego. I hope I can help grow this area with this podcast. And number 2 is share the information that I learned. yes, our vineyard sponsors me to do this. And the sponsor is my father-in-law doesn't know that I'm taking it out of the Caselli family vineyard budget. And this is the marketing. But I just felt like this is something that it's pretty fun to do. And this is kind of like the normal now. And I do not like to be in front of people. I do not like to talk. I'm very,
Really?
yes,
I didn't get that at all.
I'm very low key. If you see me at a wine place or anything like that, I'll talk to people, but I'm reserved. I don't, I let them talk more than I talk. So, and that's just my personality. I'm never like that. And you don't know the story behind me either. So I'll let you figure that one out, and that's for another day.
Intriguing.
Yeah, those are my biggest things. Yeah, you're gonna be shocked some things that you hear now after. Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that about me as well. In a good way, and nothing crazy, nothing like I didn't go to jail. I didn't,
I had
nothing
that
crazy.
I was like, is this guy an ex-con?
No, there's nothing crazy like that. Yeah, there's nothing crazy like that.
It's okay, second chances.
Yeah, everybody gets it, but there's nothing like that, nothing at all like that. But yeah, this is my biggest. I hope I can help promote it because the community is so small in Ramona, and I know you've been to a couple places through Ramona. So it's great.
I love Michael. Do you know Michael and Terry?
Terry, yep. They're actually, my father-in-law just had dinner with them last week.
Their wines are fabulous.
Yeah, have some they're doing a great job out there.
Very good.
So Ramona Ranch. So big shout out to Ramona Ranch. He helps us a lot when we ask questions about if we need spraying. Hey, have you used this product? I'm getting referred to this person's telling us to use this product. Have you ever done it? What are the downsides? What are the upsides? And he has good knowledge on that. And he's just a great guy. Hey, Mike, I have no clue how to make white wine. And my mentor had to answer his phone. What do you recommend? He's like, oh, it's going to be hard the way you're doing it. I'm like, okay. And then finally my mentor calls me back. I'm like, hey, I'm doing it this way. He's like, okay, no problem. He's really easygoing. I'm like, what the heck? I get two different extremes. It's the same exact grapes. There's nothing different. But everybody makes their wine so different that so he's an easy guy to contact. And and the other part is you're getting out there, and helping support, because you talk to so many people tasting wines that if you get a good experience in whatever winery or region, you're going to push them more. You know what I mean? So that's where I hope this podcast can help. And it's easy, and people are, are at home, or when they start traveling more, they can get, and I break this up in 2 parts. So we do a 30-minute part 1 and then 30-minute part 2. So it isn't so overwhelming. So good that's idea. That part. And then the last part is I do a game called the Spit Wine Game.
Okay.
There's 5 questions.
Okay.
And you tell me your answer as quick as you can. Are you ready? Are you ready? First one. Red or white?
White.
You're the second person that said white. Actually, the third person from the past 3 podcasts. Favorite bottle water. Favorite bottle of wine, but it cannot be Caselli Family Vineyards.
I think just from the whole experience, I don't have one, but one of them would be that Champagne Bollinger VA Vin.
Okay, that's perfect. What about winery? And you can't choose us again. Is there anything that really stood out to you from your favorite winery experience?
I know, I'm thinking. I've been to so many.
I bet.
This is a really hard question.
Around the world as well, not just one region.
Okay, there is one favorite. I was a champagne camper in Schramsberg in Napa, and they were lovely, and their wines are great. So that's one of my faves, Schramsberg.
Perfect. What about region? What's your favorite region?
Oh God, these are hard.
It can't be harder than the master.
No, hard to like one. Like I like many.
Well, we know you love a lot of them, but it's just, this is something for guests to say, if I had one area to go to, I'll do it because she recommended it. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay.
Something
Well,
super easy.
I have a split decision because
Okay.
I love the region of Bordeaux. It's a city within the wine country. So you get the benefit of having a European city experience and be able
With
to taste wines. So
nice.
that one's up there. If you're traveling,
Mhm.
awesome place to go. But for drinking, I don't know. It's got to be either Germany or Austria. It's either the
Really?
local
Oh, because of the white.
Rheingau.
And the chill wines, and I think
Yeah.
it goes to your palate. That makes total sense.
Yep.
Nice. And then last question. This could be hard or it couldn't.
Okay.
The last bottle you opened.
Where are you? You're somewhere. Oh God, I don't remember. Oh, a Sauterne.
Sauterne. Okay.
Yep. Sweet
Perfect.
one.
Nice. All right, that was my spit wine game. And like I said, it was more for guests to hear, hopefully, obviously this whole COVID scene, goes away next year and we can, get to the traveling. And, this just kind of puts a little seed in somebody's mind. And, oh, I remember hearing a podcast and they said this region, or I heard the past 4 podcasts and they said the same exact region. I have to go. You know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
could be, so it's just kind of giving something fun and what you like doing. So this is basically the end of the podcast.
Very good.
I really appreciate your time. Thank
Oh,
you
well, thank
for
you.
the information, the background, your company, and what makes you so special with just showing off the wines that you love tasting and helping your guests, your students learning about what you love doing right now. So I really appreciate that. That was the end of our episode. Thank you very much, Lindsay from Wine Smarties, for your input, recommendation, and advice in the wonderful world of wine. I had a great time learning from you, and I know our listeners did as well. If you have any questions for Lindsay, please reach out to her directly on Instagram at the Wine Smarties or on her website www.winesmarties.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube, iTunes, Google Play channels, and also follow and like us on Facebook and Instagram at Life in a Wine Bottle. Thank you for listening. I'm your host, Nelson Pizarro, and we'll see you guys next week.